Louie, do you want to go camping? You ready? Well, we're still a long way from our destination. This has been a pretty bad experience. Okay. Good. Yeah. We have been traveling and traveling. What should have been a 3-hour drive at the most has turned into how many hours has it been, sir? Nearly 7 hours. We have been traveling in the inchworm with no air conditioning, stuck on I-10 for an hour and a half, stuck in Mobile for an hour. Just now tried to go down a road. The road's flooded and it's closed. But that's the fun of traveling. It's not always a bed of roses. Oh, and might I add, not only do we not have air conditioning, but we have a puppy dog with very bad breath. So, it's been a lot of fun on the show.
Yeah, the puppy dog wishes we had not come. I know he does.
Yeah, I know he does. He really does wish he had come. It's very sad. I kind of wish that he would have stayed home too. But as you can see from the beginning of this video, he's always very excited to come. He may have changed his mind. I have a feeling the next trip we take, you will not see an excited Louie, which is very sad. But them's the breaks. We'll check in a little later. We left home around 1 in the afternoon, and it is now almost 8 o'clock at night. So, yeah.
One other thing, Louie will never trust us again.
No. Louie will never trust us again. He will not. It's so sad. It's so sad. Poor little Louis. Poor little Louis. So anyway, we will check in with y'all later. See you later. Bye-bye. This moment of Zen is brought to you by a good night's rest, the sun rising over Bear Lake, and the birds singing in the trees. When I was up on the dam, I heard this kind of creepy, weird gurgling sound. I thought it was an alligator, so I went to check it out, and I found this. Joe says it's a problem in the line that runs from Bear Lake into this area here. He says it needs to be fixed, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. It was already pretty hot when we started hiking the Bear Lake Loop Trail. Maggie and I decided to turn around before we were halfway through and go ahead and complete it the next morning when it was a little cooler. Dan, Stephanie, and Joe went ahead and completed the loop. Oh, and by the way, that panting you hear, it's not me. It's Louie. Later in the afternoon, Stephanie, Joe, and I hiked the Sweetwater Trail from Bear Lake to Krul Lake. About a quarter of the trail is made up of boardwalk that runs along the banks of Sweetwater Creek. This is the suspension bridge that crosses the creek. Bear Lake is strictly a fishing lake, but Krul Lake is one gem of a swimming hole. Dan, Maggie, Joe, and I headed out on Bear Lake Loop Trail early in the morning to beat the heat. The Bear Lake Loop Trail is a 4-mile trail that winds through a pine savanna, one of the most diverse ecosystems in the United States. Once covering almost 90 million acres, the overlogging of longleaf pine occurring from the 1700s to the turn of the 20th century decimated the savannas, and today only about 2 million acres remain. The pine savanna is home to rare and declining species, including red-cockaded woodpeckers and the fascinating carnivorous pitcher plant. Today, pine savannas are managed by controlled burning and thinning of the understory to simulate naturally occurring lightning-induced fire. One of the first plants we encountered on the trail was rattlesnake master, whose fibers were used by indigenous people to make baskets and footwear. It can be found in the tall grass prairies of the Midwest, glades, savannas, flatwoods, and the upper edges of swamps. Rattlesnake master is a food source for many species of butterflies and beetles and is pollinated by native bees and wasps. One species of moth, the rattlesnake stem borer moth, is completely dependent upon it to complete its life cycle. Meadow beauty relies on buzz pollination, and buzz pollination is performed by solitary bees, like bumblebees, not honeybees. A bee lands on the plant and uses its flight muscles to rapidly vibrate the flower, shaking the pollen loose from the anthers. Other flowers along the trail included Coreopsis major, wild potato vine, and the lovely low-growing milkwort. The others were ahead of me when I ran into a plant I'd never seen before. Squarehead, also known as pineland neverae or pineland ginseng. It's a distinctive plant because of its bracts. These open up to surround a greenish-brown disc and yellow rays, giving it a square appearance that you can see in this picture. Unfortunately, this lovely plant is in decline due to loss of habitat like pine savannas. Fern Alley.
You know what this one is, Suze? This one's these are small oaks.
Mm-hmm.
That is this
Yeah,
one?
now that looks
That's
like
a
an oak.
small
I mean,
oak,
this-
too.
I don't know.
It's pretty weak wood, but it's a small tree.
You got any idea what that is?
Some kind of oak,
Really?
I think. I'm gonna assume.
I didn't even notice this till now. See how these ferns, they unroll and grow?
Yeah. That's that's called a fiddlehead.
Oh,
Where's the fiddlehead?
these are this how the ferns are grow. These are new growth, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
see how
Yeah.
they grow?
Oh, I've never seen that before.
Roll out. I haven't
you
either.
seen that,
I haven't
Dan?
never noticed it.
In Washington, a place like this would have what they call sword ferns, which is one shoot that comes up and it's got some fronds on top. It has a long,
What is wrong with you?
and you could just pull those up, and kids, you know, we used them like to throw at each other and stuff. They yelled at us for doing that, of course, but
Like little spears.
yeah. Yeah, they're
Did you
called
get hurt?
sword ferns.
Could you
I
get
think.
hurt? Did you
Well,
get
yeah, you
cut?
could put an eye out. We never managed to do that. We tried and tried, but never.
Did your mom say that? You'll poke your eye out? With your red
It's
rider?
more like the school bus driver, I think, that because they'd see us.
And these are little canes, you know, that the deer love and all out here. I know that.
Oh, those things?
Yeah, they're not like regular canes, but that's what I call them. But Just little
I'm sorry,
cane
everything
grass
fell
or something.
apart. Now I have to get it redone here. Down to this last thing because I'm so slow. Okay, I'm ready.
And there's a fiddlehead right there.
Another thing about walking sticks, where the hell else you're supposed to put your
Exactly. That's the Atlantic white cedar. Towards the end of our hike, we came upon a stand of pitcher plants. In the U.S., there are about 11 species of pitchers belonging to the genus Sarracenia. What makes them unique? They're carnivorous. Between the secretions produced by their nectaries and their come-hither looks, insects don't stand a chance. Whether they climb up or fly down, once an insect is on the lip of the pitcher, the peristome, their legs are no match for the slippery surface, and they fall into the tube where they are digested by protease and other enzymes. All species of Sarracenia, except Purpurea, can be found exclusively in the southeast. Unfortunately, according to Wikipedia, in the southeast, about 97.5% of pitcher plant habitat has been destroyed by drainage and development, runoff of herbicides, fire suppression, and the cut flower trade. Some states have enacted legislation to protect the pitchers, but there are no protections in Alabama or Mississippi, even if they are on public land. After our wonderful hike, we returned to Krul Lake for some much-needed cooling off and a little R&R. Then it was back to camp in Bear Lake and our last communal meal.
God, now I have to go get my camera so I can get the video.
You don't want to
Holy crap.
Maybe the fire pit.
I
Oh, I
got
like it to be a little hotter. Real firewood.
Oh, yeah.
Dan and Maggie, Louie,
Gotta get it a little hotter, so
Stephanie in the van.
firewood over there.
We should get some of those tiki turkeys.
Yeah, really.
Do they work? No?
I think maybe a little bit. And
They look cool.
they look cool. That's the thing. They create an ambiance.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, me too. It's all about,
The appearance.
yeah, it's about the appearance. Doesn't matter if they really work. Hi everybody. We're traveling. Joe hasn't even had his coffee this morning. We left Bear Lake really early to try to avoid some of the traffic that we ran into on the way here. As you probably already know, it took us like 7 hours to do a 3.5 hour drive. So we're really hoping that this alternate route is a little bit better. Last night we said our goodbyes to Dan and Maggie because we knew we were going to be leaving early. They're going to stay on and do the Bear Lake to Krul Lake Trail. We did it the day before, or no, we did it the first full day. So you'll see some footage of that. We had a great time, didn't we, Joe?
Sure did. It's been a great 3 days at the end of May here, and it cooled off nicely. So it's been terrific.
Yeah.
And now just a cup of coffee, and I'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. So onward to a cup of coffee.